Hello everyone and welcome back to the farm. My name is Patrick and today is Tuesday, January 30th, and it is 30 degrees outside. Let me wake up the phone so I can show. Boom, 30 degrees outside. We are almost to 70 degrees here inside the greenhouse. So I'm able today to get to one of the last trees I have to create into a bonsai tree. Right now over the winter break is this guy right here. And this is a green velvet I got from Home Depot. Was half price, of course. If you look from the top, I noticed that it kind of resembled a heart. So I pruned it so it would look like that. It's got a lot more growing to do. And I'm going to put it in what would not be a bonsai pot. It's kind of a surprise for my wife. This is just a pot that we've had sitting around. I know it's not a bonsai pot, but hey, I'm going to leave the roots kind of large and let it fill out a lot more. Maybe we can call it a training pot. I've got some mixes of soil because it's all I have left, so I'm gonna put that together. Got my screen, I've got all my tools laid out already. I've got some water in a bottle to rinse the roots off, and also I've got a little bit of water left down here in this bucket. It's interesting enough that here in zone 7 is where we are. We got a little bit of snow last night. Like I said, it's 30 degrees outside. So luckily I have a greenhouse that stays warm when it's sunny. So yesterday was just kind of a bummer because it was nasty out all day long. The soil in here though, as well, the soil in here has not frozen. Still has not frozen yet. I even have, I just noticed a couple of weeds growing here. So it makes me wish that I would have done some lettuce over the winter. And I've been telling myself, you know what? I have lettuce seeds. I have a greenhouse. So I think later on this evening, I'm going to go ahead and add some worm castings to this that I got. So there's a little bit of fertilizer and really mix up this dirt really well. And go ahead and let's see about planting some lettuce seeds and see what happens. Maybe I can get some lettuce going. I still have a couple months here before we got to put our seeds in the ground. So yeah, anyway, let's get on to the bonsai. Get this bottle out of the way right here. And well, first thing we're gonna do here is I need to go ahead and remove the moss here. We do that by hand, do it with a thing, with a ding-ding-a-ling-ding. Now, I'm going to put gloves on today. Normally I wouldn't wear gloves, but it is cold outside and I do not have a running water source. So, I don't want my hands to be covered in dirt. It's also good practice. I mean, you're messing with dirt, things are outside. So, what I notice here is right down in here, the roots have really clung on to this moss. So, it's not going to be horrible separating it, and since we are in winter, you know, the roots are gonna I want to save this moss, maybe get a piece of paper towel here and we can put it right down here and save it, because I'll definitely add it right back. Yeah, it has grown all down in here. You don't want it on the, now this is a nice root that came up this past year. I've been fertilizing this over and over again. Let's go ahead and just get it out of here. As you can see, it's grown well outside of what it should have done. So we'll get our rake tool here and we'll just go ahead and start. Now I got this one I got my tool at a bonsai center close to me, up on the Dulles Toll Road in Virginia. It is called, I think I have it right here where it comes from. Well, this comes from Meeham's Miniature. I don't know what the heck. I don't remember exactly. Midlothian Bonsai, might be like Midlothian Bonsai. Something like that. Anyway, rake the roots out in a radial pattern. Okay, I'm going to be cutting a lot of roots off of this guy. Not too much though, because our pot is bigger than what a normal bonsai pot would be and want a much flatter root base. But as you can see, this tool makes quick work loosening the dirt. Luckily this plant isn't frozen either, because that would have been bad news. Okay, now what I'm going to do real quick is I filled up my thing here, so I'll set this on this paper towel real quickly and let me go dump this out and just check it. So anyway, let's get right back to it. Let me see if we can see good down here in the bottom. There we go. Okay, so it's great to be able to just work, and now we got the farmhouse and everything, so that's gonna be really good. Okay, and let's get up underneath here. Now this guy is starting to tear at some roots, so I'm gonna take my homemade hook here, just a one single hook. It makes for loosening up in here a little bit easier. I really like to be able to wash these roots, but that's okay. Now, maybe this guy up here, he might actually be a problem. Alright, look at that. Now when you're pulling, you should be able to feel what's moving and what's not. Like if it feels solid, definitely don't yank through it. You don't want to bust anything. Pulling a few little roots, and you know that's gonna happen. You're gonna lose a few. So let's see here. I have a little sharp hook here. I'm gonna see about digging out around this guy here. Let's get just a little bit of that. Piece of perlite growing between the tree there. That wasn't helping it at all. Some leaves in here and some muck. Now, if you look, there is a large branch here. Let's go ahead and break that out real good. Alright, right there. That's good. And right here. Okay, it's not budging, so we'll go above it, under it. Under it, okay. It's gonna be pretty good right there. Okay. Get rid of all the rest of this moss here. Just gonna get rid of all the rest of this moss off, because it's really eating into the plant. You don't want that. Now, I'm going to try to rinse this off real quick in a bucket I have back here, and we will be right back. Alright, so now, as you can see, we have it nice and cleaned off. So I'm going to do a little bit of root trimming. Ooh. Windy outside, so we're just going to do a little bit of root trimming by just going straight across with it, making sure we're going for uniformity. You know, a lot of these little guys, you know, you can cut them and they'll just reproduce. I'm gonna put a little root hormone on it anyway, just in case. I know it's early in the year, but hey, need to be a little sharper and get out my sewing scissors. These things are great. I find them at antique shops really cheap, $2–3. Sometimes you can get them to sell you these for. They're like, oh, they're not very sharp. I'm like, well, I can sharpen them. You know, it's like anything, you can sharpen it, right? Let me get more of a flat bottom here. That's good. That's gonna be, I'm happy with this. Now, I do have a few roots that are twisting and turning, but for the most part right now, I'm not gonna worry about it. I like how this looks. I've already groomed the top to be what I wanted. Okay, like I'm not gonna go overboard or crazy with the pruning right now because it's gonna be in a fairly large pot where it can go fairly deep. So let's get rid of these last little bit of roots here. Let's throw them right to the trash. Go ahead and wipe out this guy. Get all the mud out. That's good enough. Wipe out some mud. Okay, go ahead and make sure we're still good on the battery. We are. Okay, great. One day maybe we'll do a lot better at the YouTubing, and we can have you know, we can know that our batteries are gonna last. Ha ha ha. So I'll take my little snips here. I'm probably gonna do 2 pieces of screen down in the bottom, just to make sure it holds itself in. One a little bit bigger than the other, maybe 3. It'll definitely still let water pass through. My soil is very, very drainable. Okay, push that into the bottom. Take just a little bit of rooting powder, not much, if y'all can see this here. Just a little, that's a plenty. And what I like to do is I'll just give it a mist, just a little bit, and it's gonna work its way down in to the plant. Yeah, good. Close this up. Stuff's not cheap. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, I got just some rocks here. Yeah, just some rocks that is the floor of the greenhouse. I'm just gonna put a handful of those in the bottom, maybe another handful. And they're clean enough, and this is just for very good drainage, and a couple handfuls will save me from using all this soil. Yeah, I got 2 different kinds here, which, you know, for me it doesn't bother me too much. I'm gonna make sure the plant's nice and deep in here. So let's add a nice healthy dose of this conifer mix. That's just a conifer. That's what it says. It's that it has more organic material because those trees tend to like that kind of stuff. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a nice healthy spoonful of my regular, and I'm just gonna mix them down in here so it's all copacetic. Here's some large chunks. Don't want to leave those in there. Now let's see if the tree is sitting up. It's a lot lower than I want it to be. So we're gonna add just a little bit more of this one. Why not? Okay, let's see where we're at now. Oh yes, that's gonna be fantastic. Let's find the front of our pot. I want to still be able to see the handle. The pot has a handle, so it's kind of like a coffee cup. So at the same time of that, I want to make sure that the heart is where it should be in the cup. So it may not be quite the front of the tree is the front of the tree for me. We're gonna go right about here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and push this down into the dirt some, get our metal chopstick here, and start pushing some of those roots down here into it. Let's get a spoon. Let's get a helping of our soil here, our medium, so we call it, making sure to hold the plant level. This is a plant, obviously this one is not wired in because, well, as we discussed, this is not a bonsai pot. So making sure to keep the soil, everything moist. Always keep everything moist while working. Worst thing you can do is somehow damage your tree by letting it dry out. Oh, let's go ahead and here, fill it up with the medium. Hopefully I have enough left of this one. And yeah, we should be good on that, I think. Fill up over here. And let's move it all around. And let's make sure to hold the tree still. And pack. Now what you're doing here is you're taking the tip here and you're making sure to feel and fill every void. Because if you imagine as the plant grew, you can imagine as the tree grew, it had to take its time over a few years, maybe even over a few years probably, to even grow to this level. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark on top. Now, as it grew and grew and grew through the dirt, over time, it's going to pushed its roots out through dirt. So there would be no voids. It would have been solid, and it's growing outward from that, becoming one with the earth. So when we wash it out, when we rake out all the dirt, we take away that oneness that the plant had. So that's our job now, is to replace it. To replace that oneness, to make sure that we bring it back to that. And this does that. Filling all the voids, filling all the spaces will ensure the plant having a long life. Also, fertilizing, making sure to water correctly, and fertilizing your plants is also a good thing. Okay, I decided to add some of this other mix on top because it will add a nice food for it, and it will also just looks fantastic in this pot, really. But I want to work some of it in, so it's not shocking to the plant. If you take care of your plants, so I'm just going to go ahead now and finish it up by getting just a final little light layer of the soil medium over top. I'm happy with what I see. I'm happy with what came out. Making sure everything is held down nice. All right. And what we'll do here is we're going to give it a nice watering. And this is a big part of taking care of putting in a new plant, is making sure it's very watered very well, soaked right down to running out the bottom. Even in this cold weather, it'll be fine. be in the sun today, so we'll have plenty of time to drain. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I use a 20-20-20 fertilizer in all the water I use to water my bonsai plants. Through my learning, that's the one most commonly used. I did find that this tree now has two fronts, so this can be the front. Here's the front I chose here at the front of the heart for this one. Let's go ahead and give it some more water. Get some water up here in the leaves and make it happy. I'm going to take this moss here. And we'll go ahead and right out by the edge here, away from the tree. It can work its way back to it. It'll look great eventually, I'm sure. For now, I'm just gonna, I got all these little pieces to push in, and believe it or not, even the littlest pieces that you push in, they will grow. So scattering a few bits of this one here and there, it'll find places to get onto. Ooh, guess the sun just ducked behind some clouds right then. And it's back. So yes, I'm gonna go ahead and get this area cleaned up real quickly. And I'll be right back on camera. All right, so thank you for joining me today doing this quick bonsai tree. Came out pretty awesome. I'm happy with it. So yeah, and it also shows that, you know, doing a bonsai tree does not have to take hours. It can take minutes. I was ready with this one. I had a plan ready. I set up all my tools. I got ready. That's a big thing. Excuse me. I need to eat. I'm hungry. I think Chick-fil-A will do today. Anyway, sorry, I'm thinking too much. You can see the ice and water is running off the greenhouse from the snow we had last night. Keep watching it. Keeps distracting me. We're almost to 80 degrees now in here. So yeah, if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. We are 4 subscribers away as of this morning, unless some people left. We're 4 subscribers away from 1,000. I can't thank you all enough. I also can't run you through wind chimes enough. So yes, thank you again. I'll see you all next time. Let me know what you want to see more of, and I'll try to make it happen. Someone asked to see a bonsai video. There was one. Once the ground unthaws outside enough, I might be able to dig up a tree. We'll see what happens. Thanks again. Bye-bye.